Hello and welcome everybody, this is Glitch, and this is Game 4 in a series of games played on Battle.net between ZephyrPrime, who is actually MarineKingPrime, and oGsTheSC. This is going to be a TVT, as the past 3 matches were, on Shattered Temple. So far, this series of matches is 2-1, favoring MarineKingPrime. MarineKingPrime was able to win the first 2 matches in a pretty quick wins, and in Game 3, MarineKingPrime tried to go for an all-in one-base push with Marine siege tanks and a couple of Vikings for spotting, and was just unable to break the front of oGsTheSC, and GG'd out of that game. We now have Game 4 of this series played on Battle.net, with oGsTheSC spawning in the 3 o'clock position on Shattered Temple, and MarineKingPrime spawning in the, what is this? Is this the 8 o'clock position? I guess the natural of this base is the 9 o'clock position, so this is the 8 o'clock position. Both players going for that oh-so-standard supply depot into barracks. Now, as I said, the first 2 games were pretty quick matches. The third match ended up being a little bit longer of a match, but I'm hoping to see a little bit even longer of a match than the third one, because so far we've had some pretty quick and decisive wins here in this series. Neither player yet mining gas, both players just mining minerals, going for that barracks. Looks like both might be going for, well, no, we're seeing a little bit of, no, you know what, we just had a 15 orbital command. Sorry, I just realized something. I think I said in the last cast that both of these players were going for 16 orbital commands, but what I think I had seen in the previous match was the same as what I had seen on this match, where actually both players had gone for a 15 orbital command, but because they produced a Marine so fast and were able to start that orbital command and that Marine at almost exactly the same moment, I thought that they had gone for 16 SCVs followed by an orbital command, but I think in that last match, as well as this one, both players went for that 15 orbital command, and they were just so quick at getting that Marine up at the same time. Now, MarineKingPrime now going for an early command center. This is something that we saw in Game 1, where he used the early command center to get some early mules into his main before expanding that down to his natural. This time we're actually seeing an identical build from oGsTheSC, where he is actually producing a command center of his own. Both players now both just getting their second gas. No, MarineKingPrime still just on 1 gas, but is getting more barracks, so it looks like we're going to have a 3 racks play here from MarineKingPrime. On the STC side of things, we are seeing that there is only 1 barracks down on the field, and there is now a factory that is going up. And as I said before, he is going to be mining 2 gas, so it looks like the STC is going to be going for a more tech-oriented play. In general, when you see more gas tends to mean a more tech-focused build, especially when it's early like this. And we are seeing the 1-1-1 or Destiny Cloud Fist build out of the STC. MarineKingPrime is going to go for a little bit more of an infantry-focused play, as he now has Combat Shield coming up. Again, he has this nice little wall of Marines here. He's done this every game so far, where he places these Marines up here very early in order to deny any kind of SCV scout into his base. There is an SCV moving across the field now for the STC, going to try to see if he can get some scouting information in. I don't think either player has scouted the other. No, both players still completely in the dark to what the other player is doing, and it looks like the STC is not going to be able to get any kind of scouting information off of that SCV that he has sent across the field. Command Center now moving down for MarineKingPrime to that natural, but oGsTheSC is here, and he will spot this command center and possibly block this command center from landing. No, he just has seen that this command center has gone down in the natural and is now moving his own command center down. So now he does feel safe enough to move this command center into place. Nice little touch there by the STC, waiting to see that MarineKingPrime is indeed expanding before placing his own expansion, just in case MarineKingPrime had not expanded. Then he probably would have left this orbital command in his base and gotten a few more forces, because that would have indicated to the STC that MarineKingPrime was going for a little bit more of an army-focused build rather than a macro-style build. MarineKingPrime has now moved across the field, and he is looking to do some early damage here to the STC, but the STC does have 2 siege tanks and a lot of Marines. Oh man, STC is pulling all his drones off the line. This is not a good place to be. Siege mode is not up yet for the STC, and it looks like MarineKingPrime might have another early win on his hands here, as he is pushing into the base now with these 8 Marines, and there is nothing but this 1 siege tank to stop him. He is pulling SCVs to try to heal this siege tank, but man, I don't think 1 siege tank is going to be able to do it. He has 3 racks up, but there is not going to be a whole lot he can do. MarineKingPrime now pulling back to just try to deal some damage to this command center, maybe get a few more worker kills here. He has already gotten 7 worker kills, putting him ahead in the worker count by a hefty lead, 38 to 27 harvesters right now, heavily favoring the MarineKingPrime, and these Marines now placed very carefully here, preventing any mining at this natural. Meanwhile, MarineKingPrime is mining on his own natural and producing more SCVs. Surprisingly, the STC has managed to hold this off, but man, he is behind in food count, 65 to 46. Siege mode is now up though, and this is going to allow oGsTheStC to hold on for a while later. So the STC manages to live another day. He now has 3 racks up, 1 factory producing siege tanks. His starport is now up, producing that Viking for that critical vision in those TVT matchups that they desperately need. A couple of tech labs coming up, and 1 reactor for the STC. So Zephyr Prime was able to do a lot of good damage with those early infantry forces, and has now teched up to a factory and a starport of his own. So both players completely identical now, save this add-on. MarineKingPrime has gone for a little bit more marine-focused build and has 2 reactors up on his 3 barracks, while like I said before, the STC has gone for 2 tech labs. So it looks like the STC is going to be a little more Marauder heavy, while MarineKingPrime is going to be a little more Marine heavy. MarineKingPrime again moving out and doing a nice little bit of an elevator here, as he uses this medevac to drop forces from the low ground up onto the high ground, bypassing all of these siege tanks and this nice little defense here at the front by the STC. That is going to be completely worthless here for the STC, as the siege tank is now in place in the base, and oGsTheStC now pulling all his SCVs off the line, and that siege tank does get sniped. These siege tanks back here are going to need to pull back and try to defend. There are a lot of Marines here, but man, this siege tank is doing a lot of damage and getting a lot of kills. 5 kills now on the siege tank, and these Marines and Marauders just doing a lot of damage, and oGsTheStC has GG'd out. So wow, that was a very well played game there by MarineKingPrime, able to do some early pressure, early damage with some very well timed attacks. I'm really liking the timing of the attacks that I've seen from MarineKingPrime this entire series. He has had some very nicely timed attacks that have all caught the STC off guard and managed to get a lot of really early games, or a lot of early wins for him. So MarineKingPrime taking the series. I don't know if this was going to be a best of 5, but MarineKingPrime was able to just do some really well-timed early attacks in most of these games and win 3 out of 4 of these games. I would highly recommend downloading these replays and checking out these builds by MarineKingPrime, because these were excellent played games. So that is it for you guys. That is my TBT series. Like I said in a previous cast, I am looking to do a bunch of mirror matchups this week, so look forward to some PvP and some ZVZ also later this week. So please tune in, subscribe, comment down below. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. GG.